Story time on the most pick-me girl I've ever met in my life. Let's call this pick-me girl Chelsea. Okay. And I swear to you, every single time we're around a man, she would just always bring up my height. Like, wow, like you're so tall. Like I have to look up at you. Like you're like a tree. And like, listen, like I'm 5'9", so like I always get, wow, you're so tall. But literally referring to me and saying that I look like this bitch is so diabolical, and it's so fucking pick me. And every single time we're around a man, she wants to bring up my height, like if that was relevant. Like, girl. And Chelsea was the type of bitch that'd be like, oh my god, like I want a man so bad, like I want to be in a relationship so bad, like I want a man so bad. So when I finally got like a boyfriend, now fiance, bro, like mind you, this was all during like after we graduated high school. So when she first met my man, please tell me why she brings up my fucking ex. It was literally so random too. Like, why the fuck are you bringing up my ex when you just met my man? I would not do that shit to my worst fucking enemy. Like, she was literally about to spill all my drama about my ex to my new fucking man. Are you psycho? Like, bitch, are you okay? And listen, I was literally gonna cut her off after this, but then like she got a man and she's like, please, like I want to go on a double date, like let's go on a double date. We went out to like a nice restaurant, right? And I pulled up in a like mini skirt and a crop top, like cause like bitch, I'm trying to fucking slay, the fuck. Also, another side note, we're in Miami, so like bitches are really cheeked out literally fucking everywhere. So I did not think that this was wrong for me to dress like this. I'm gonna insert a photo here of what I was dressed like. Okay, so I was just slaying, right? My man doesn't care about how I dress, and that's just our relationship and our boundaries. Like, if you and your man don't feel comfortable about the way you dress and you're okay with that, then you do you know what I mean? But my man does not give a fuck, and I'm gonna continue doing me. So please tell me why. We're on that double date, we get seated, right? The first thing that this girl says is, oh wow, like I could never dress like that and be in a relationship. I just have so much respect for my man, like I could just never wear that. Mind you, this bitch is in a see-through dress, like it's a mesh dress. What are you, what? And again, if you want to dress conservatively and you're in a relationship, like you do you, I don't care. But what didn't make sense to me is like basically hating on me for like having my legs and my stomach out when your dress is literally see-through. So when she said that, like I was just like kind of feeding into it. I'm like, yeah, like, right? Like I could never wear a see-through mesh dress. Like that's so disrespectful. She was basically like subtly shading me like, oh, mini skirts, like I could never wear that. And then I was like, oh, mesh dresses, I could never wear that. Honestly, I wish I could show y'all her face, because after I said that, she was like so surprised that I subtly shade her, just like she subtly shaded me. If you're gonna give me that energy, bitch, I'm gonna give you that energy right fucking back. But needless to say, after that, like honestly, the whole dinner date was just so awkward, and we're not friends anymore. But yeah, this is the finished look. I will be posting more on YouTube, so please go subscribe to my YouTube. It's gonna be linked in the bio. As always, I love you guys so much. Bye!
Story time and how we got grounded for the next 10 years of our life, or until we move out. Okay, so basically last night we were watching a movie and like we were watching TikTok and stuff, but it wasn't like we weren't having any fun. And so there's this guy that like added me on Snap, and I added him back, and him and his friend liked us and was asking if he could pick us up and like take us to his spot. And we didn't like think anything bad about it, and we were bored, and my mom was sleeping, so we left. They literally took us to McDonald's, and we were like, this is your spot? And he was like, yeah. We were like, okay, whatever, like it's better than just being at home. We live like close to another state, and so they're like, okay, we should like drive up to that state, and we were like, no, like we're not gonna leave the state in midnight.
And then we left the state.
And the roads were really empty because it was so late at night. And so we were going like 120 and an 80. And of course, the one time we had to get pulled over was by her uncle. And so I was like, hide, Julia, because I want him to see her. I didn't know if he'd recognize me. And that obviously just made it like more suspicious. So then we all had to get out, and he searched the guy's car. And then he found out that we were like younger. And it turns out those guys were literally like 24 and 25. We literally thought they were like 16. So yeah, then we drove home by the police.
And I have to like stay at her house. I'm not even allowed to go.
Yeah, because she basically got kicked out, but she wasn't like there to get kicked out. So she just got like, I don't know. It's a long story. But those guys, like, they went to jail because there's a bunch of other stuff that they like were doing or like had in their car or something. I don't even know.
And we have boards on our windows, like,
yeah,
so we can't even get out.
We can't even like leave. So
we're just gonna have to go at our sister's for now, because my sister lives here too.
Julia ate a whole bag of s'mores. She's opening up another one. Anyways, my mom took away our shoes. We don't know why, but she did. Do you guys think we should just like do ASMR for the rest of our careers? But guys, I have to get my nails done, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Like, I really need to get them done.
We'll just have to get those guys to take us again.
But guys, comment what we should. Okay, but I'm gonna finish my lashes. But wish us luck, guys. Bye. Love you.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how I introduced my boyfriend to my strict parents and how we met and basically like how it went. So my boyfriend actually found me on my old TikTok account that I had deleted because I had posted a picture of myself in like a slideshow, and I guess he liked how I looked. But like at the time, like I was serving like IG baddies, so like I understand why. So he DM'd me and I basically asked if he had money as a joke. I literally don't care about money. And he somehow liked that. Like, he was into me, surprisingly. We've just been BFF since then. Okay, it's actually a way longer story. So the first time he texted me, I actually ghosted him like after a week of texting, which is such a red flag, I know. But it's cause, dude, he was literally asking to meet up. Like, that's a red flag for me, especially since like my parents are strict. Like, I don't want to have to like immediately ask them for anything. Like, if I don't even like know you very well. And just like the thought of hanging out with somebody so soon was so scary to me, because it's like, what if they just wanted one thing? We ended up talking again because I texted him back after like maybe 2 weeks of not talking. I actually can't remember. He probably does remember though. And then after that, I ghosted him again. I think I was just like genuinely like so scared of what I was feeling, because I was like, wait, like I've genuinely never like been talking to somebody like this, you know, because all I like had before that was like little relationships where I ended up getting cheated on either way. We ended up meeting and we hung out at City Walk for our first date, and dude, like literally he kept making me laugh, and I was like, I have not been a funny man, like I have to wife you up. We've been like dating BFFs. Like, I would literally like think he's my best friend. The fact that I get to call him my boyfriend too, like I love that. Like, we've been inseparable since. Now on to what you chismosas want to know. How did I introduce him to my parents? So as many of you know, I do have very, very strict parents, and so it wasn't like I was immediately gonna introduce him, at least like the way I saw it. Didn't want to introduce them to each other if I knew my parents were gonna make a problem out of it. And then it's not that I thought we were gonna break up, but it's like I didn't want to overwhelm him with how my parents are, because they're crazy. Also, I feel like whenever I tell my parents about something I care about, something I like, something I love, like they immediately just try to take it away from me. Whenever I liked reading, they would take away my books. Whenever I liked makeup, they would try to take it away from me. And it wasn't until I started buying my own makeup that they stopped taking it away from me. My phone, which I obviously like using, they always take it away from me. And obviously I love going to school, and they literally tried taking that away from me. They took away so many opportunities from me. So it's like, I genuinely didn't know when they would stop doing that. I didn't want them to know about the thing that I love the most, the person I love the most, and for them to just try to take that away from me too. And because of that fear, I made that man wait almost 2 years before he met my parents. And obviously, you know, like he cared, he wanted to meet my parents. He also didn't blame me for that. He knew that I just had this fear that was like instilled in me because of the stuff that they've put me through. Oh, ladies, if you ever get a man, if you ever date somebody and you're just like, you have this fear of introducing them to your parents because they're strict, or because, you know, you're just scared of how they'll react, get a man that doesn't mind waiting. Obviously, get a man that wants to meet them, that isn't scared to meet them, but like, make sure that he's able to realize that, you know, everything takes time. It's like you just have this irrational fear inside of you, and it's trauma induced. Like, hello? So I introduced him on Thanksgiving. What I did was I went up to my parents while they were both like next to each other. I think they were washing dishes. And I was basically like, ¿Puedo invitar a alguien mañana? Can I invite somebody tomorrow? And then my dad was like just staring at me, and then my mom was also staring at me, but she just rolled her eyes and went back to the dishes. Basically, my dad said, "Está bien," and then my mom was just like still quiet, and I was like obviously waiting for her to say something. My dad was looking at her too, because he wanted her to say something, but she didn't. And then when she finally spoke, she was like, "Ya te crees mujer," and then I like looked at her, and then I started tearing up, because it's like, what did I do, you know? She basically said that I think I'm a woman, like I think I'm a grown woman. I think my dad was just caught off guard by the response, because he was just like staring at her, and then he was like, you can't get mad when she tells us stuff, and then you can't get mad when she doesn't tell us stuff. And he was like basically saying like, you're just looking for a reason to get her in trouble because you're always telling her that you don't like how she lies to us, but then she's telling us the truth right now. She's asking us for permission. She's not acting like a grown woman, just bringing him over, you know, without giving us a warning. Like, she's being respectful about it. And my mom kind of started arguing with him, and then it turned into a whole different thing there, and I left. I'm not gonna just stand there while they're arguing about me asking for permission to invite somebody over. The next day came, and my boyfriend came with a cake, and he basically gave it to them and was like, thank you for inviting me. And my mom was in the shower at the time, so like he didn't see her like at first. And then when she came out, she wasn't even being rude. Like, she, like, deadass was just standing there, and she introduced herself because he introduced himself. So I was just surprised because of, like, how her reaction was yesterday. I just had expectations set because of her reaction. She ended up serving him food because she had made panes con pollo that day, and she served him, which I'm really surprised about. She was offering him drinks. She was actually being really nice to him. And we ended up cutting the cake, and she offered him a piece, obviously. And then yeah, they didn't really question him, which I was kind of surprised about because they always question my other sister's boyfriends. But yeah, my mom just asked him where he's from and what his family did that day. And yeah, my mom was the one making more conversation than my dad. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Was her reaction when I told her disappointing? Yes. If you have a significant other and you have strict parents and you're just scared of introducing them to each other, just go in with no expectations set at all. Like, I know it's scary. I genuinely know how difficult it can get because, girl, I held it back for 2 years. But yeah, I think it's just important to have no set expectations at all because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Since Mystery Man now wants to go and call my friend his wife and offer to fly her out now, let's do a full story time on this entire situation because I can't even make this up. This is genuinely one of the craziest story times I think I've ever told. I'm just gonna start by saying that at least pick a different state. Like, at least pick a different city than the same city that the girl you just flew out and love bombed and basically ghosted lives in. And you guys already know I'm not one to air out my drama on social media, but I have literally done nothing to deserve this entire aftermath, and I just find it so funny at this point. Most of you already know, but basically I went out to California with a random stranger, hit it off with him and his family, and I've been very graceful when using the term love bombing, and I've been very forgiving in the story times that I've made about what has happened between us. But I'm just gonna come and flat out say he literally love bombed me to an extreme I've never encountered before. He can say it wasn't love bombing all he wants, but if you know someone for like 6 days and you're talking about wedding speeches and when you want to get married and telling his entire extended family that, oh, this is my future wife right here. I don't know, like calling me his future girlfriend or waking up next to me and being like, good morning, baby, good morning, like, oh, telling me he'd want to try long distance. We booked a trip together. Like, do not tell me that's not love bombing, because within the next week, he was ready to ghost me. Literally cried to him on one of the last nights being like, I really like you, but I'm so scared of like abandonment and I have trust issues, and I don't know, we talked it out and I was like not scared of that at all. And I hate feelings, especially when it comes to guys. Like, I really haven't liked anyone seriously since my ex. I literally cried to his friend about it and he knew that and sent me a long paragraph about it, like reassuring me. Anyway, besides the point, I got love bombed, and it all really started going downhill when we went back home. He just did not talk at all, and then his location was off, so I sent him a paragraph, and I feel like that's where it really went wrong. He's like, we're not married, blah 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 blah, like whatever. I understand that maybe I could have gone about things differently and not seemed so attached, if that makes sense, but at the same time, literally all I asked from him was bare minimum, like good morning, good night, maybe a phone call a day. He's not called me since the day I left California, and like maybe I got 2 good mornings after I left. So I sent him some paragraphs on how I felt, and basically he just told me I was too immature for long distance and I'm not ready for it. And honestly, hearing that actually broke me. Like, I cried to my friends about this because I liked him a lot and I haven't liked anyone since my ex. At this time, all his friends that I had on Snap, I told them what happened and they were all supporting me. Like, his best friends being like, I'll like secretly support you, like, I'm so sorry this happened, that was so crappy, like, you're such a genuine person, like all this stuff. And I did text Mystery Man that like, your friends are literally supporting me. I don't know why I did that because I only had 2 of them on Snap, and then I wake up the next day and they all had unadded me, and I was just like, okay, so it's like all of this never happened. Anyway, yeah, at this point when everything fell through, we had been talking, well, technically not talking because he never talked to me for like 2 weeks, and then we had like a week and a half left till our Utah trip. I mean, we already had our flights and stuff booked. Like, I tried to say like, let's talk it out in Utah, whatever, like, no, nothing. So I still went. I hung out with my buddies in Utah. Literally, his brother was texting me while I was in Utah trying to help me out with places to eat. Like, I did not do anything to this kid. And his brother texted me again when I was in New York just trying to be nice. And I appreciate that because his brother is very nice. I'm not trying to crap on Mystery Man here or anything, and I wouldn't have ever made this story time till last night. I was just minding my business, talking to one of my friends, updating him on this entire situation because about a week ago, I texted him because my church service was about forgiveness and I really did want to forgive someone that has just been lingering in my head and I'm still upset about everything that happened. So I texted him a long thing being like, hey, this is what was said in church. I just want to forgive those people and move on from this. He leaves me unopened for a day and then he finally responds and was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been caught up with life. All this stuff is happening. Like, I'm glad we met. Maybe we'll cross paths again. And my delusional self is like, oh my gosh, yay, maybe he wants me. He deletes 2 more chats and then an hour later texts, thank you for not sharing your anger on the internet. It was very mature of you. Because genuinely, I didn't want to say anything bad about him at all. Like, I'm not someone to do that. And I was hurt, guys, and he knew that. I had told him multiple times how hurt I was. The next day, he texted me 2 more times and was like, you keep adding me to your private. Of course I do. I want you to see me having fun in life. Then he texted, did you give your dad the paddle that he had gifted me that I already told him I gave my dad? So I'm like, okay, maybe he wants me back. Like, he's trying to start conversation. I tell my friend this, and he goes, oh my gosh, no, he's been talking to this girl that you know. And I was like, sorry, what? And then he sends me all of the screenshots of Mystery Man being like, you're my wife, like, I'll fly you out, like, all this crazy stuff. And she had only snapped him, like, once. This wasn't like she was really instigating much. He just kind of went off and said all that. I'm glad she didn't fall for it because I did, and I guess that's how I ended up in California. But what are the chances he literally is saying that stuff to a girl that went to a school right next to me? Like, I literally know who she is. And he tells me he's so busy and he can't do long distance, but yet you're willing to fly out another random girl. Like, how many people do you do this to? So I texted him all the screenshots of everything I know. I low-key went off, and I have a very calm demeanor. I don't go off at people very much, but I did go off at him. I think it's disgusting. I think love bombing people is disgusting. I think when you're a man and you're avoiding issues, it's disgusting because that has happened countless times now. I think it is so amazing that he is such a funny person and such a go-getter and such a successful person for his age. Like, that's amazing, and I'm not trying to take away from any of that. I just think how I've been treated, how other girls may be getting treated is crazy. He is a great person, and I said in my last video, if you wanted to try again, like, I would take him back. Like, I genuinely liked that kid so much, but after this, I can't. Only me. Like, I am genuinely so upset, and I'm just trying to laugh at it at this point because it literally sucks. I feel like any guy I ever bring onto my social media because I'm finally like, oh, maybe they're the one, it just backfires every time. Yeah, me and the girl, we have each other's snaps. We've been talking this up. Like, we were like, this story time is gonna go crazy. I know another girl that he kind of previously did this to, and he told me all about it and called her crazy, and I'm just starting to think maybe the girls aren't the crazy ones. No, but immediately when I sent him those screenshots, he went and added the girl from my hometown, but he still follows her and just left her unseen. I don't know what's going on. Again, he can talk to whoever he wants. Like, we're not talking anymore. I just find this entire situation crazy. If he's just flirting with her, like, I don't care, but don't go and call random girls your wife and offer to fly them out to places and make promises that you genuinely can't keep. Just more upset with all the excuses that he gave me instead of telling me the truth, but yeah, that's basically my story time. I have about 100 different story times like this that I could come and air out on social media, but I genuinely like to keep a lot of my life private, and I don't think you guys always realize that. But this one was funny, and I know if that boy let me, I would have gave him my all, so that's why I'm so hurt by this. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and you enjoyed my rant story time. I don't even know how to process this. I'm gonna go take a nap. Anyway, peace out. Love you. Bye.